I don't have a co-founder. So I've always kind of carried the weight of decisions and not really having someone of that's like invested in that way to like be able to bounce ideas off of.
You're listening to Honey and Hustle, a video podcast that inspires the dreamers, creators, and hustlers to make a business from their passions. I'm Angela Hollowell, and I'm a visual storyteller based in Durham, North Carolina. I sit down with creative entrepreneurs, nonprofit founders, and small business owners as they share their stories, the lessons they've learned throughout their careers, and how they've worked to make a positive impact. Hey everyone, today I am joined by Luke Davis, who is the founder of Lie and Loft, an interesting creative organization based in Raleigh, where they do creative artwork and other cool things related to golf, and that'll spice up your home interior, as you see here in Luke's background as well. Luke, thank you so much for being here with me today.
Yeah, thanks, Angela. Been
Yeah.
been following you on LinkedIn for a while, and it's good to talk with you and get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're going to do it live and direct in front of however big this audience is that watches this.
You're right down the road in Durham,
The better city,
which
you know?
yeah, I can agree with that. I used to work out of Durham, and I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah,
it's got good energy.
it does. It
Hey, did you
does.
see
It
there's a
does.
beaver today? They saw a beaver at American Tobacco Southwest.
There's always something. My goodness gracious. I did see that. I was like, I guess they just wanted some cool water that wasn't contaminated or something. But
Yep, yep. It's a
yeah,
pretty smart beaver.
yeah, yeah. Luckily, they were able to get the beaver safely, I think. But yeah,
Okay.
I didn't hear it.
It was exploding on all over Twitter is where I was seeing it popping off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Same here. Oh man. But speaking of your connection to Durham and connection to the Triangle, you are a former NC State student who is now, growing and building your own incredible company based off of your love of golf and your love of just a really cool, cozy home space. And I really would love to know how you made the transition and are still incorporating golf into your life, obviously, but making the transition from being a student, being an athlete, to now being a business owner and a creator full time.
Yeah, it's been a long road, I would say. It's like weird kind of looking back on, and it's all also flown by in the blink of an eye. Um, I went to NC State, like you mentioned, and I studied professional golf management there, which is a 4.5 year roughly program that there's about 18 colleges that offer it across the country, and it's got the full curriculum of becoming a PGA professional, which is the business side of golf, where you'd like operate a golf course or teach or do something in the golf industry as a golf professional, um, while doing classes like a full Bachelor of Science in whatever college that major is in. So at NC State, it was in the College of Natural Resources and Parks, Recreation, and Tourism. So that how I got there was also a long story. So I would say like golf in general has been a part of my life in some capacity for the extent of it. And I didn't know what I wanted to do for the longest time. But eventually like all roads kind of led to something golf related. So um, yeah, happy to answer any questions you have or keep going while I'm on a roll of the story. I don't know.
No, it's fine. Yeah, I won't make you recount every gory detail, but I did just kind of want to ask more specifically here. Lie and Loft has a very specific and unique brand design and approach to design. And not only do you have kind of like paint simulations or paint recreations, but you also have like golf course recreations as well. Um, and just things that when you think of, wow, I want some art in my home, people may not necessarily think about those types of artistic styles first, right? So can you
Was
kind of
it?
talk to me how you came into just kind of crafting and finding your own kind of design style?
Yeah, for me, um, it kind of the idea came from when I got my first place after college, and um, wanted to kind of make it my own space. And I really, really enjoy kind of the stylizing of a space, I guess, if you will, like interior design, and then how a place makes you feel. And when kind of thinking about the types of things I wanted to put on the walls or the type of artwork to start investing in, golf was a part of that. And um, yeah, I think just style wise, there's not a lot of modern takes on golf artwork. If you were to look for golf artwork out there, it's pretty um, old, I guess is the word you tag it as, or like it feels like an antique, which is great in certain settings. Um, or it's like old photographs, but there's just not really anything more modern or abstract or clean or some of these other ways of visually communicating something. So, for me personally, I was looking for course maps of places I'd worked at, to kind of hang on the wall of like you would see back in the day, or even current currently, when you go to a golf course, they'll often have scorecards with a map on there. So that was kind of the inspiration for this, is like a graphic design, modern, minimal take, and kind of like connecting that course to your home, really. And it's since evolved beyond course maps to, like you mentioned, paintings and illustrations and photography and um, other product categories too. So I guess style wise, just me personally, I was looking for something a little more modern and clean. And like I mentioned, there was just kind of nothing there. So I just taught myself graphic design and started making them.
Nice, nice. So I think, which is just by course of nature, a lot of people are self-taught creators, and that is one side of a business. The other side is, again, running the business. So in addition to your degree, which did kind of prepare you for, I guess you could say, a career in golf or having a golf-related business, like what were some of the initial challenges you had, not just learning, but actually like putting those things into practice on your own with your own time, your own capital? All those other things.
It's a lot of self doubt that you have to kind of push through. And it's kind of like believing that what, like your idea or what you're working towards is going to work. Like at the end of the day, it's something that I feel like if you're doing something entrepreneurial, you should be having fun with it, or it's something that you're still like getting joy out of. Um, so for me, that was kind of difficult to juggle that of like, I'm getting to create something from scratch basically and like build a business and learn. Like I'm fascinated with like learning new things or trying new things. So that part of it was just so exciting, that like beginning phase of starting a company. But then reality is certainly a thing when it comes to, the money side, which is to this day, even, it's still a challenge that I don't think that'll ever go away. Um, but I think it's just like anything else. If you want to do something and you're just going to keep doing it, and it's going to be challenging, but just like learning a new sport or activity or hobby, it's running a business. You just need to do it, go through it to, you know,
I
so
got you.
it was
I got you.
definitely
Yeah.
challenging and still challenging.
Yeah, I got you. Well, I appreciate you being honest, because I mean, sometimes like we get in these modes or you hear other people online and they're like, yeah, it was so hard at first, but now it's great and nothing's wrong. And, I'm in a groove and I only work 4 days a week or something like that. And it's
Oh
like
man, I wish.
this,
That
what
sounds
you,
lovely.
you think like, you get in your head that it's supposed to be like Oh, a little hard at first, but it pays off at the end, and then it's just paradise and bliss and everything. Once you like crack this invisible code, and that's just not how it works.
No, you just hopefully enjoy it a little bit more than you're doing it for yourself and for the people that you work with and your customers. So it's just a different feeling than doing that for someone else, you know? Yeah.
Yeah,
So the
yeah,
challenges will always be there, but it's just yeah, the dynamic's different.
yeah, yeah. And I think the nature of the challenges changes over time too. Like at first, the challenge is just like, how can I do or have the most amount of impact with the least amount of resources? And then it kind of changes to, okay, well, I have more resources now. How do I this with the grow this as much as I can with this set amount of resources that I have now and spend these resources wisely, right? And then
Mhm.
once you start to grow, then it's like, okay, I have, you know, resources, I have a team. Like, how can I not be pigeonholed and not be static, like in my business and continue to grow and meet the needs of like my clients and my customers? So like each challenge is different. And I think like at each level. And so like it depends on how much you like the challenges at each level, how much fun you're having. But I personally feel like it gets better as it goes along because then it's like you're having more fun, you have a little more freedom, you have other people to share the journey with. Like it grows and evolves into something beautiful over time.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's something you were like just talking about briefly, like, you have to push through kind of the self-doubt and also balance that with having fun. Like, was there ever a time where you were like in your business and you're like, man, like, what's next? Like, I'm doing all these things, I'm doing the best I can. I think I'm making a great product, but I'm still having, one or two small things that are nagging me. How did you kind of work through kind of difficult moments in your business or challenging moments in your business?
Yeah. Um, I think for me, like what's been difficult in my situation is that I don't have a co-founder. So I've always kind of carried the weight of decisions and not really having someone of that's like invested in that way to like be able to bounce ideas off of or like go through those tough things with. So like looking back, that would be something that I've since started another business with a friend, and it's just completely different. It's just a different kind of feeling. Um, so yeah, there's been a lot of moments like that where I'm like, man, this is like, I'm just sacrificing so much. Is this worth it? But it's a very fleeting thought. And it would be nice to have someone to kind of share those instances with because it's heavy over like, it's been 8 years since I started the company. It's like a lot of internal dialogues you have to kind of go through. But it's been like I said, it's pretty fleeting. Like I can kind of gain perspective pretty quick on like, don't give up. And it's just like sports too. It's just you just keep going, and as long as you're still like having fun at the end of the day. And I've never really lost the fun, so that's been helpful.
Yeah.
But there's
Yeah,
certainly
that's a good thing.
periods where it's like I feel like I've been working a lot in the business and not creating and doing the things that I like to do. It's more like the things that you have to do, but maybe not like the fun creative part. But just like trusting that those times to create will come down the road. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, like, speaking of like doing some creative things, and not only do you create products, but you also have a podcast of your own that you guys have done for Lion Loft, and you also kind of have a blog going. So you guys have created for other people, but also for yourself. So you found a way to kind of spread that joy of creating and golf and homemaking with other people. And I think sometimes that can keep you energized too, just like having other people to talk to about like things that interest you. Especially when you're working in your passion every day. I think sometimes like it can be hard to separate like business from life when it's so closely aligned and make time for yourself. And so creating original content, I think is a really big help with that. Have you found that to be true for you and Mind Loft?
Yeah. I mean, for me, that's the stuff that I want to do 12 hours a day. Um, and definitely like on the podcasting side, it's a nice creative outlet. You're able to talk with someone about something that you both enjoy or want to learn or share. And then kind of building a community is definitely something that it keeps us going. Just getting, we'll have customers that like send us like holiday Christmas cards or like handwritten thank you notes back to us, and just like stuff like that's kind of cool. So yeah,
Yeah,
we've got a
that's
lot of
beautiful. I
different,
think that's so great.
yeah, we've got a lot of great, people that we get to interact with. So that's what is fun. It's like sharing those stories and getting to meet new people and learn their stories.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Um, so this is probably not going to be the sexiest part of our conversation, but I do have to ask because I personally do not run an e-commerce brand. I haven't had many people on the show that do e-commerce pretty much exclusively. So I did want to ask you, like, what are some of the tools and software that you use to kind of run your business and that you feel have made Line Love be really have a create a good customer experience for people who are buying from you?
Yeah. Um, we've always utilized Instagram for sure with building our brand, building our engagement with customers and people who follow us. We're very responsive on there and we try and get to know people and also doing that through email too. So we do a lot of email campaigns. I say a lot, it's actually not. It's like we'll send out an email every 2 weeks or so. And we've always tried to make them feel like approachable, not like a marketing thing, but more like if you were to get a letter in the mail. Um, so yeah, I think having those kind of pipelines built is really important. An email campaign type of initiative or like focus area, especially with e-commerce, has been just, I don't do it enough, honestly. That's something I should probably do more of is focusing on email. Instagram and some form of like, where's your engagement with your community? That can be Twitter, that can be LinkedIn, YouTube. What are those channels that you want to really focus on where your engagement is going to be? And then from the business side, we built our website on Shopify, which is the e-commerce platform for someone that has SKUs or products. And we do all of our production in-house. So from day one, we've always printed in-house. So we make our own prints from start to finish. We get to ship these out. Since we don't like use a third party to do any production or manufacturing, we literally get to handwrite every note and get to know people and like tailor their experience to, and we always follow up with an email that's personalized. Like if someone's from Cincinnati, we'll make a comment about Houday and the Bengals, RIP to their season this year. But, we'll try and like personalize stuff. And we've always just really been focused on making each customer feel like an individual from day one. So, and just having all those things kind of interconnected with a strategy of the e-commerce side with the website, and then where are the content funnels and engagement funnels that kind of flow into that, and then how do you retarget with well-done emails.
This episode was recorded using Riverside. Riverside is an incredible video recording and live streaming tool for video podcasters and video creators. With the ability to record videos up to 4K resolution, all participants have access to active local backups, which make poor internet connections and lagging audio a thing of the past. If you're ready to upgrade the audio and video quality of your show, please be sure to check out the link in the description to experience Riverside for yourself. Now, back to the show.
Nice. I
Nice.
feel like email, it does. I feel like email is still one of those things that people are like, this is the golden goose. Like, you need to get people off of social media and into your email list that you own and be able to communicate with them. And I think we're seeing email just continue to grow and expand in its offerings, and being able to, like, embed videos, to be able to basically treat it like a blog that just gets sent straight to your audience, right? And you can have a conversation with them when they hit reply back, or when they send you something back physical in the mail. Like, it is a way to connect directly with people. So it's not really based on an algorithm. It's just based on when you send it, right? So at
Mhm.
any point you could reach out and directly talk to, your people, your community, if you will. But I feel like, if, with e-commerce brands, it can be easier than other brands, maybe like service-based brands, because one, of volume, and two, just by nature, like, a lot of e-commerce brands, and I think Lion Loft does as well. When you go in there, it's like, hey, give me your email for 20% off, put in your email to get sent exclusive deals. So it's an easy way to capture emails from people who are interested, and they're interested, even if they don't buy something that time that they sign up. That
Yeah.
they're interested in your product and would be interested to hear from you and learn more about you and your brand, and things they may not know about just from searching around the first time. So it becomes like an easy value proposition. And again, especially the way that you're using it, you're like, I'm not here just to exclusively write sales emails, right? I'm here to, like, build a community with the people who have signed up and who maybe have had other touch points with us on Instagram or some other method. Um, but I think for service-based people, it could be really hard, or even people who have a young brand, a young e-commerce brand, where maybe their brand doesn't have as much brand recognition or name recognition, for people to get people to buy in and say, like, why would I want to hear more? Why do I want to hear sales? Either you have what I want now or you don't. And so when you were initially kind of growing that audience, did it feel like a slow crawl? Did it feel like, the opt-ins were, did
Yeah.
it feel like the opt-ins were not flowing and like you thought they would? Like, what are some things that you tried to kind of just, like, grow your email audience as well?
I think it took like a year of having our website active before we got our first order. I remember seeing the first order and just, yes. Uh, so yeah, it was super slow. Luckily, I was also building the business through wholesale and B2B. So I was literally in my car going from golf course to golf course, selling prints out of my car and getting them into golf shops. Pinehurst was one of our first wholesale customers. So was heavily focused on that. And then while doing that, I was capturing content from these trips and storytelling through the Instagram account until there was that brand connection and trust built. And it's kind of like if you're starting a business, it's your family and friends first and foremost that are going to be your early adopters and supporters. And like getting that next wave is the hardest part. It takes a long time to like have a stranger. And and you want those types of customers that take a long time to become your homies, is what we call them. For us, it's like homies, the home. But yeah, it took a while. But I still think we have so much more that we could do to improve on our side where we're at today. So it's just something you definitely want to focus on, is continue to build that out.
I think it's interesting that you have a name for your community, because that's also something that, I guess you could say it's branding, or community building, but a lot of creators and brands, once they get to a certain point, or even before that, they just have like a name for, like, their crew or like their following. And I think homies is cute. It's cute. We're all little homebodies. Oh man, but when it came to, again, like, thinking about yourself, again, I say it's a creative business, but other people could say it's an interior design business. Other people could say it's like a, you know, a homemaking business, right? I think their perception, because you hit on so many different points, golf, creativity, and design, and then enjoying your home space. Like, how am I decorating my home space, right? Like, when it came to that, was there any kind of like, and I know you said you use Instagram, but was there any kind of like, how can we convey this like feeling of like leisure and just like relaxation through like our shop and through our messaging, and just like relate to people who maybe don't even care about golf, but just really relate to that feeling of like wanting to have a nice, clean, like well decorated space where they spend probably a good bit of their time at.
Took a lot of photography. Photography is not going away either. All the rage right now is video. I personally think long form content and still, like more still things that will like pull you into the moment, that's more quiet. So yeah, we've taken a lot of photos that convey that feeling, whether it's product based, staging our prints and posters in different settings, or if it's on a golf course and we're playing at a really cool golf course or something and just sharing that story. So and people that have played there will immediately resonate with it, and people that maybe haven't played there are like inspired to go play there. So just a lot of it's just visual direction really. And I built a brand book before I even started the business officially, to just kind of direct what that aesthetic looked like, and the voice of the brand, and what I wanted the mission to be, and all that stuff, and how it all kind of pieced together. So stayed pretty true to that since day one.
Nice. Yeah, I think I still have never created a brand book. It's just like, I know what I want. I don't know if that's a smart thing to do, but sometimes, like, I mean, especially when you're not really familiar with branding, I think because it is so integral to what you do, like having a brand book and developing that and knowing the mission and what you want things to look and feel like is very, very important. And could be important for other e-commerce businesses to think about, like, okay, you may not have your ducks in a row or know how everything's going to come together, but having a brand book is a good place to start to think about, like, or just give you a good guidance and direction of like, okay, I have options here. Which of these align with the original mission of our brand and the direction we want to go? Just a good place to start. And speaking of starting, you mentioned that you started a business recently with your friend. Is based on hickory sticks. Is that correct?
Yeah. So we collect hickory golf clubs, which are, they call them antiques now. They're what you see at antique malls and stuff, where it's the wooden shafted golf clubs. They're all, if you see a wooden shafted golf club, they have a couple reproduction companies that reproduce them now, but I'm talking about the old ones. They're pre 1935, and a lot of them date back to 1800s. So my friend and I collect them. We make them playable again. So we refurbish them, like completely make them, you know, from decor to stuff you can take out to the course. And we rent them and run hickory experiences, and just kind of like, we're still in the beginning phases. We'll definitely do some more lifestyle type stuff. I think apparel could be really big with this, just because it's a niche within the golf industry that I think will catch on. Everyone's going back to throwbacks and stuff, and this is like the ultimate throwback. And if you play golf and you enjoy the feeling of a sweet spot, like hitting the sweet spot of a golf club, that feeling, if you've ever felt that, it is 10 times better when you do it with antique golf club. So that's kind of the joy that we're trying to spread. And it might not have to be your everyday experience with golf, but it's a really fun way to, and the kind of visual of hickory golf is very antique, and like people wearing the kneecap pants and high socks and stuff where, we'll be out there wearing Vans or Jordans and a flat brim or something. And it's just like a different look to it. I think that's what we're doing. Well, both brands kind of are trying to do within golf also, is just show that there's a different look to golf than just what is in the media about it, or what the industry kind of has been. So yeah, it's fun. It's a fun side project we're working on. So
Nice. Nice. So as our last question, and hopefully um, everybody who's listening and watching feels comfortable enough in their own home at this point, and they're chilling and they're relaxing and they're thinking about, how all of this relates to, building a business and building an e-commerce store. When I think about, the almost like, I wouldn't say impersonal, but potentially impersonable way that e-commerce brands can be run, right? Especially if you have no connection to seeing them in person at an event, or seeing them in a store that, the brand has been wholesale to. So you're already associating with them with something that you like, right? So if you have no, initial connection with the brand and you're just searching for, something that an e-commerce store offers, when I think of how we can overcome that, and even if it is their first, experience with you and they don't have an experience buying from you, um, and you have limited capital to create, something special, what are some of the things that you write kind of on your initial notes when you're writing to them? I think one of my best experiences has been this soap company that I buy from back home that does have an e-commerce store. But every time I buy from them, they write me a handwritten note. And it's still to this day. I've been buying from them since 2016. So it's been quite a few years at this point. And so what are
that
some of the
feels
things
pretty
that you
good, right?
continue to... Yeah, it does. It does. And there's something, I guess what I'm trying to say is there's just something so underappreciated about a handwritten note, and knowing that there's a person on the other side of this brand that you may have bought with something money you don't even care about because the money's gone now, right? And you have something physical in your hands, but you may never even see you in person, unless they're watching this and they just want to see what Luke Davis from Lion Loft looks like. But, like, if they, want to get a sense of who you are, this is really the way to do it. And writing a thank you note is really inexpensive. So what were some of the things that you said to, your first 10 customers? Because I know you were overjoyed after waiting for a year for them to buy. But like, what are some of the things that you, said to them, in those thank you notes?
Yeah. Um, First would be, we wanted to also make the thank you note feel unique. So we went to a couple golf courses and asked them, instead of throwing out their scorecard, like after the round, people throw out their scorecards from the golf carts and stuff. We're like, just collect those and we'll recycle them for you. And so we've collected scorecards over the years, and we use those for our thank you notes. We just handwrite with a Sharpie over top of it, notes out. So I've tried to utilize certain cards. If someone buys like a course map and we have that scorecard from having been there or something, like totally going to use that course's scorecard, which is like that type of touch is cool to be able to do. But those initial ones, it was, and I still really enjoy writing thank you notes when we're shipping out orders. It's making them feel heard or seen by acknowledging where they live and trying to come up with some connection to that, whether it's a golf course or hope your winter has been mild enough up and yada, yada, like we'll do something to that degree. And it's just, I will totally be like, this order means the world. Like, thank you so much for supporting our business. And I always end it with, we're always here to help connect golf and home. Your homies, Luke and Lion Loft, or Lion Loft. So just letting them know that we're always here to help with that value of, for them, connecting golf to the home is kind of like the touch I want to leave them with, is that we're here to help. So, and it's not a quick note either. Like typically they're like 6 or 7 lines of text, and we definitely take our time with, because that's such a, you mentioned it with the soap company. You almost look forward to it, right? Um, I've traveled to different places to like spend time with friends who live in the other areas to play golf, and they've ordered from us in the past, or it's like some boutique store or something, and they'll actually like frame the thank you note with print and stuff. Like, it's that cool to them to get a handwritten note on a scorecard. So I do think that's like a thank you notes handwritten, totally the way to go. And if you can make it a unique thank you note experience. We also don't sell stickers on our site, but we always are dropping stickers in orders. So people know if they order from us, they're going to get like cool design stickers or branded stickers. So just like stuff like that, that just adds to the experience of opening an order is, yeah, something we've always focused on.
Yeah, that's a good tip. Because now that I think about it, don't judge me, I ordered some beer from this place out in California as my Christmas gift to myself. And they also don't sell stickers, but they did put stickers in my package, which is just like a nice surprise. And I think especially with something like stickers or like enamel pins, something that's like a low cost item, it just makes sense, right? Like, you're probably not going to get your ROI from selling $5 worth of stickers. So
Yeah.
you might as well just give them as like a gift. So
Like if you have an Airbnb, if you have some stuff stocked in the fridge, that's or like a 6-pack of beer or something with a note on there, enjoy your stay. People are going to be stoked. And that was a $12 expense where you're probably guaranteed a 5-star review and a repeat customer if it's a repeat customer type of business.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, nice little pro tip. I love it. I'm learning something. I hope everybody else learned something. And Luke, if you didn't, Luke is always here to help connect golf and home. So
And I like meeting other entrepreneurs and people that are building stuff. So I'm always down to talk shop.
there you go. There you have it. He's here for you. He's here. Thank you so much, Luke, for joining me today.
Thanks for the invite. It was nice chatting with you.
Absolutely.